Hi, I'm David Welty, and I'm from Fairhaven High School, and I teach in Fairhaven, Massachusetts.
And my name's Mary Lou, and I teach in Weston High School that's in Weston, Massachusetts.
So Mary and I are going to introduce you to micropipettes. Micropipettes are tools that we use to transfer very small volumes of fluid. Mary, can you get me a microliter?
Does it look like this?
That is a liter, and that is 1,000,000 microliters. I need something much smaller.
How about this?
Better, you're getting smaller, but that's a milliliter, okay? That is 1,000 microliters. Can you go smaller?
How about this?
Better, okay, that is 10 microliters, okay? So that is 1 microliters. And this is the type of volumes you're typically going to be using in biotechnology and molecular biology.
So how does a micropipette work?
A micropipette is a lot like a bowl pipette. It's just a lot more sophisticated. So if you've used a bowl pipette, you notice you squeeze the bottom or you squeeze the top, and it's going to push air out. You then put it inside the fluid, release, and it draws up the amount of fluid that you transferred out. And that's essentially the same thing that a micropipette does, but instead, okay, there's a plunger. So if you notice, Mary's pushing down on the plunger, and that acts the same way as when we push down on the bowl pipette.
Oh.
Okay, so same idea. So micropipettes are named for the maximum volume that they can measure. The smallest is a P20. The next size is a P200, which I have here. Okay.
And the biggest one is a P1000. So this one can measure a maximum 20 microliters, this one a maximum of 200 microliters, and this one a maximum of 1,000 microliters.
But I guess we don't always just measure those volumes. So
No.
we probably got some in between, some ranges we got to deal with.
Yeah. Micropipettes measure volumes in a specific range, and the reason they come in these sizes is they measure volumes only in that specific range. So this small one, we called it a P20, it measures volumes in the range of 2 microliters to 20 microliters. The next one, P200, measures volumes in a range of 20 to 200 microliters. And the last one, the P1000, measures volumes from 100 microliters to 1,000 microliters. So depending on the volume we want to measure, you'll choose a different tool to measure that volume.
So there must be some mechanism that we use to change the ranges. And how that works is you'll notice there's something called a window. And Mary's going to explain to you how the window works.
The window on a micropipette looks like this. There are 3 digits in the window, and that tells you what volume you want to measure in that particular range. So for this pipette, our P20, we've set the window to 050. The top digit represents tens, the middle digit represents ones, and the bottom digit represents tens. So if the window is displaying 050, this micropipette is measuring 5 microliters. But the window's a little bit different on different pipettes. So for our P200, our next size, the top digit represents hundreds, the middle digit represents tens, and the bottom digit represents ones. So the same window display, 050, is actually going to help us measure 50 microliters on our P200. And our P1000s have a different display also. The top digit's a little different. It's going to be a red color this time. It represents thousands. Our middle digit represents hundreds, and our bottom digit represents tens.
Oh, I think I got this, Mary. So in this case, this is going to be 500 microliters?
Yeah, because our 5 is in the hundreds place. So this represents 500 microliters on our P1000.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So you might notice our window settings looking similar across our 3 micropipettes. They all say 050, but they're going to measure a very different volume of liquid depending which micropipette you choose. So it's important to choose the correct micropipette for the volume you want to measure, whatever range it falls into, and then you have to set the window setting to measure specifically that one volume. But just because you have the window set for a volume, are you ready to go? Is that it? Are we ready to use our micropipette?
There's actually something else we need to do. And as you can imagine, if you've been working in biology, we're dealing with bacteria and stuff like that, and we don't actually want to contaminate things. So these micropipettes have tips. Okay, they're going to go on the end here. And when we use it, we open the case. We keep it closed otherwise. But see, this one's not fitting, so I got the wrong size. Okay, this one fits. And so this is the tip we're going to be using to transfer a specific volume. And let's say I've just transferred something, okay, and I want to get rid of the tip. There's this tip dispenser button, and it sort of shoots it off. Okay, and then I can go back in and get another tip.
I notice you're not touching the tips with your hands when you put them on or when you take them off. Why is that?
That's called good sterile technique, and that's to prevent cross-contamination. You notice I've always closed my box of tips when I'm done so that nothing comes in from the air. I go in, I don't touch it with my hand, I close it. And as you've used these, you'll get used to where the tip is. You're never going to want to touch anything but the liquid or the tube that you might be transferring into.
So in addition to choosing your correct pipette, setting the window, now you have to also get a tip that's the right size so that it fits and you can measure the liquid that you want.
Exactly.
Great. I think we're ready to go. But it's important that you get to know your own micropipettes before you use them. They might not look exactly like the ones we've shown you so far. Micropipettes come in a bunch of different sizes, right? Like we've said, they come in that P1000, P200, P20 size, but they come in other sizes as well. They might come in P100s, P2s, P50s, and they're made by a bunch of different companies. So they might be a different color. They might have a different number of digits in the window. The window might be on the front. This one's on the palm side. This one's on the finger side. So it's important to get to know your micropipettes before you start to use them. Make sure you know what their ranges are so you can choose the correct pipette to measure that volume.
And this is one of those places you're going to find in biology where it's going to take a little bit of skill when you're actually working with them. The tip, when it's in a fluid, you only want it to go from tube to tube, and you can't let it touch anything else, or you might cross-contaminate something.
Now that you know more about the tools, you're ready to get started.
For more information, come back to LabXchange, and thanks for connecting with us here at LabXchange.